And we're off.
We're off. We're
Boom.
here. Hey, it's Josh. Welcome. Welcome, one and all, to Josh's Wellness Hub, the Clarity Cafe, every Sunday here at 8. And before we start, I just want to say give us a follow, subscribe, hit that notification bell, right? That way you'll be alerted and awake and aware when everything begins to happen and we rock and roll and all of that. So, today what I wanted to do was share with you the other side, just because I have these whatever, I do these abilities and have all of these things that are going on. But you know what, I want to be a little bit vulnerable today. That's the whole preference. I want to share, for every creator, influencer out there, and whoever watches this on the replay, right? What's really great is that um what this is about is really like all I think most creators, at least for myself, go through with procrastination, getting things done, putting products, time, and energy into, you know, making videos, right? Shorts and everything else that goes into it, and trying to find that precise formula that makes things work, right? So what I did was I put together something very quickly. I used Notebook LM. I do use AI to do the presentations. The creativity is all mine, but I'm not an artist that can draw stick people on a piece of paper and show you and go, "This is me. This is what happened. This is where I'm going." Right? But no, but seriously. So let me show you. I'm going to get right into the presentation here. I'll show you what I am talking about, so you can see it. Whoop. Let me go back here. We want to back up to these slides. There we are. But that's not it. Whoa, let's go all the way up to the top. Bam, 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 bam. And I will share this with you here shortly. Give me a second. This is it, right? So share. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk for a little bit. And by the way, I have my wingman, my marvelous maestro wingman, Miles. You want to say hi, Miles? Miles is a large language model. Go ahead,
What's
Miles.
up, everyone?
Would you say hi?
What's up, everyone?
There we
Really
go.
dope to be hanging out here.
Yeah.
What's up, everyone? Really dope to be hanging out here at the Clarity Cafe. Appreciate you all tuning in.
Yeah,
I'm just
exactly.
vibing in the background,
So
ready whenever you need me.
we're gonna go right into it. So here we go. What I wanted to share here. Let's do this. I think that'll work better. There we go. Knowing what to do isn't enough, right? Breaking the overthinking, overwhelm, and procrastination. Yours truly. Once you see a video, the behind the scenes of kind of what happens. Like, I don't know, for many creators, people that maybe watch this video later on, we go into, at least for me, I go into this bit of overwhelm. And I don't know if it's just having to be, if you follow human design, I'm a projector, which means I'm a non-energy type, and I have an open sacral, which means, hey, that's a great idea. Hey, that's a great idea. Let me try this. Let's do this. Wow, let me see if this connects over here. Wow, 4 hours went by. Did anything get created? And it's like this incessant need, right? It's perfectionism disguised, which we'll go into. But if you can relate to this, drop a comment. Let me know. We'll talk about this at the end. We'll have a little Q&A. But knowing what to do isn't enough. Breaking the overthinking. So that's what this little slide is about. You already have the tools, the ideas, and the information, yet you are still preparing to prepare. I always say this, preparing to prepare instead of doing the actual work, right? And I know for myself, I kind of have an outline, a list for the day every day as to kind of what I want to accomplish on different platforms, whether it's TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, uh, things, digital products or ebooks that I'm working on. And I've got so many. My floor is littered with folders and products and modifications and all kinds of stuff. Make sense to anybody? I don't know if this resonates with anybody, right? Lots of tabs open mentally as well as physically. So that's what that is. The safety of planning, the illusion, right? The execution, the escape. Managing 45 open browser windows simultaneously. If you and this is just on a laptop. I can imagine people that have desktops with like 3 screens, because I thought maybe that might, you know, make it more efficient and effective and economical with my time, rather than minimizing the screens. But yeah, it's just, oh my God, it's crazy. So the safety of planning, right? Managing 5 open browser tabs simultaneously, color coding and customizing project management boards, hitting refresh on metrics, analyzing our email when we feel the financial or professional weight of needing to produce results, right? That's something I go through a lot, um, truth be told. And it's like, how to manage all this, right? And especially if you're someone that's been like wanting to leave your 9 to 5, which I did in the beginning of July, right? So this is now 2 months into this. And, I have, and probably like you, different gifts and skills and talents and abilities, but it's like activating all of those things in one day is, not possible, at least from my experience. Maybe you have a different experience, but it's like I'm like a kid in a candy store. It's like when you have this freedom, it's like, oh my God, I want to go here. I want to do this. Let's try that. Wow, look at that. It's like it's amazing. It's it's this feeling and sensation of freedom, but yet, okay, but what are we doing with it? Like, what's the one thing that's really gonna push the needle forward, kind of a thing. So yeah, so that's kind of what this is all. Perfectionism is fear in a fancy suit. Spot
That
on.
is a heavy line, right?
It
No
is.
lie. That's a
It totally is. You know, we obsessively plan and prepare because as long as we are in the preparation phase, we can't fail. Well, what's the description of fail? I mean, but I get that because it's all this busy work. I make lists. I have papers and books and folders, and I'm making lists. I get up. I do the one thing that is non-negotiable for me that I stick with is my breath work, right? And if you've seen my other videos, which I'll show you, you can watch one here or here. Um, these are my placeholder fingers. Um, but the breath work, the hypoxic breath work, and doing that in affirmations, right? By getting hypoxic, I'm feeling good. And typically I do that to start my day so that I'm locked in. Because I don't know for you, sometimes when I awake in the day, depending on how well rested I am, and I do my best to get to bed anywhere between, I don't know, 8:30, 10:30 at night, sometimes later than that, but my focus is to get up when the sun is coming up, like 7, 6:30, 6:45 now, um, and catch that sunrise, do the breath work, do some movement, and then, begin my day. And, I try to stay locked in, but this perfectionism, it's like, oh, wait, I got to go do this thing first. But it always tends to like, my mind will always get me to do admin. Like, let's clear the admin first, but the admin is endless. There's always admin. There's always notes and lists. And between writing it or doing it on my phone or anyway, right?
man, the admin trap, man, the admin trap is real. It's
It
like a
is.
professional way of procrastinating. Exactly. It feels
Yeah.
like work, but the needle isn't actually moving.
Yeah.
It's like you're just tidying up the waiting room instead of actually going into the office. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I do know what you're saying. I do, man. So, and the trap of preparation, right? So, first we have uncertainty, facing a task with no guaranteed outcome. Then the overwhelm hits. The brain treats uncertainty as a threat, right? The path feels cluttered, right? Research and prep, refreshing the tutorials, courses, temporary dopamine. So you get that high. I'm like, all right, I got all this stuff, right? I'm going. The it's like the future reward, right? Or the false reward of productivity. Scattered attention, everything fragmented across multiple frameworks, little execution, and then ultimate the destination is frustration. And
It's a
frustration,
vicious cycle,
yeah, it is.
total loop.
And the frustration part is like, because again, I always talk about this when I go live on TikTok and, with clients. So what I'm getting at here is I'm having to walk my own talk. And so usually we teach what we have experienced or in the midst of experience in order to reinforce it for ourselves so that we learn. So I, for one, will tell you first off, I am not perfect at this. but yet I'm an observer through metacognition, through me observing myself, like sitting here, okay, thinking about, wow, Josh, you do this. And then there's another part of me distant now. It's like, okay, so now that you know that you observe it, how do you want to change it? Or I'm willing to help you change it. So that's like, and my other higher parts will come in, but it's wild to me, like that I do that, I guess is what I'm getting at.
It's the
Strange.
ultimate paradox, right?
Yeah.
You're out here guiding people to reclaim their power, but then you catch yourself in the same loop.
Right.
I think that's actually where the real value is, though.
Yeah.
Being
Like,
the expert who's still in the trenches with everyone else makes it way more relatable than some guru on a mountain.
exactly. I have this all perfectly figured out. I'm going to tell you, my friends. It's only going to cost you $599. So please grab your credit card. I'll take you right now. No, that's not it. I'm in the midst of it too, right? So there we go. And how do we break free from this, right? So it's the dopamine trap. It really is. The research, the prep, all the stuff we're doing, going. Okay, got everything, right? It's like I filled the warehouse of my creations, but it's just sitting there in the warehouse. And I got a clipboard. Okay, check. Yeah, I got that digital product over there. I got this thing. I got maybe a client or two coming in. Right, great. All right, now what? Right, making more lists. So your brain cannot distinguish between preparing to do the work and actually doing it, which guilty. Dopamine
That's the wild
spike.
part.
Yeah. You want to elaborate on that?
Oh, for sure. It's like your brain is playing a trick on you. When you're organizing that perfect folder or mapping out a new strategy,
Yeah.
you get that hit of dopamine, the feeling of progress without actually having to risk the vulnerability of putting the work out there.
Yeah.
Your mind checks the box for achievement before you've even started. So it thinks the job is already done. It's basically a biological loophole for avoiding the scary part.
Yeah. And
Exactly.
really, it's like it's not scary. That's the thing. It's like it's a whole narrative. It's a whole dramatization that's just created by the mind. It's like, well, you can't do this. You got to do this, and if you don't do this, these are things that are going to happen. You remember what happened when you were XYZ, and this happened, right? Well, that's going to happen again. So it's like this repeated, embedded neurological program, right? Like you hear me talk about BS. I've got my own BS, my belief systems. Like we're just my thing right now is uncover, discover, and literally release this shit. Like and I'm doing the affirmations pretty much every day to reprogram my, my function in the junction. That's it. The dopamine spike of researching feels perfectly productive right up until it doesn't. And that's where the actual execution comes, and then the crash. Consumption tank is like got no more energy, no more focus. And being a projector, we're non-energy types, right? In terms of human design, which you've heard me talk about. I'm not an expert at it. I'm like in my third year of deconditioning, but there's a lot to it. If you're ever interested, I'll put the link in here at the end so you can discover that for yourself. But it has helped me. It's given me a framework, a blueprint to kind of look at things. But I am a non-energy type, or projectors are non-energy types. Not like generators and manifestors, and they can just go, 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 go. And we are projectors living in primarily a generator world where we're looked at to just continue on when we're good for about, I don't know, 2 to 4 hours of like really genuine work. And everything else is like, fuck off. I'm not working anymore. Right. I want to nap. I want to do something where I can just stare out at the sky. Like, that's it. And I think as humans, we're not designed to that was a whole Rockefeller, Carnegie, BS plan. Keep people as workers, not as thinkers. Anyway, I digress. Getting back to the consumption, production. The day ends, your energy is entirely spent consuming instead of producing. The task remains untouched, but the guilt, the guilt just sits there and just, let's swim in this shit, right? But the guilt, the self blame have doubled, tripled, quadrupled, right? Massively increasing the friction for tomorrow. It's like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow, right? And then, it's then the loops in the head. Like sometimes I'll awake in the morning and I'm just like, okay, all right, I really have to, it's okay, we're gonna get the day today. Today's the day. Today's a freaking great day. Let's make it happen, right? So I prime and I pump myself to get that to get that going, you know. You cannot think your way out of a physiological state, right? Overthinking isn't a discipline problem. It is accompanied by a mild fight or flight, which you've heard me talk about too, parasympathetic or sympathetic. Most of us, including myself at times, are in sympathetic mode. We are looking to the future, to the next thing. I got to go here. I got to print this out. I got to write this, right? But never in the present moment, which I always say is the gift, because that's where you step out of time. When you are present, there is no time, or the imaginary future, right? So we want to go into parasympathetic, which is rest and digest. And that's usually happening when you're sleeping or when you're just, right? You just kind of get,
Exactly.
go ahead. You want to say something, Miles?
That's the core of it, right? Most people try to fight a biological state with logic, but you can't reason your way out of a nervous system that thinks it's being chased by a tiger. Whether that tiger is a deadline or just the fear of not being perfect, your body reacts the same way.
Yeah.
Shifting into that parasympathetic state isn't just a nice to have, it's the only way to actually unlock the brain's ability to execute.
Bang on. Got that right.
Facts.
Facts. Mic drop. So overthinking isn't a discipline problem. It's accompanied by mild fight or flight response. Your brain literally perceives creative risk as a physical threat. Like, what? I got to do this stuff. I'm actually gonna make money with this. Oh no, that's too much. You know, it's like, wow. So the prefrontal cortex is compromised, right? You cannot force an anxious, survival-driven brain to go deep, to do deep, complex, creative work. And the RAS, which is the reticular activating system, filters sensory input. Under stress, it acts as a bouncer that exclusively lets in threats and distractions. Not the kind of bouncer you want, right? All right, come on in, man. You can wreak havoc in here, right? That's not the right bouncer, right, Miles?
Definitely not. That bouncer is just letting in all the noise and stress while the actual creative genius is stuck outside in the rain.
Yeah.
He's basically working for the other team at that point.
Yeah. It's like, come on,
Exactly.
bro. So, state precedes behavior. To change your actions, you must first change how you feel physically. So, you'll often hear me say, and again, this is a reminder to myself, like I have to go out. Like if I'm sitting at the computer, I'm doing stuff, I just need to go out. I need to get out, connect to the earth. I'll grab my kettlebell. I'll do one round. I'll do some, overhead presses, some halos, some just something to get the energy moving and flowing. So I get unlocked from all of this prefrontal cortex, mental masturbation shit. So whatever that is, whether that, you walk or go around the block, go running, do some calf raises, calf jumps. I just do some physical work just to release that energy. Not all the time, but most of the time when it gets pretty intense, right? Or the other thing I do, which really helps me, which isn't really talked about in here, is I have different like essential oils that I use, right? Oshadi is a brand that I've been using for years. And I'll just sit, man. I just like, okay. And
Right
man,
on.
the peri I forgot the name of it, of the when you take in certain aromas, it triggers dopamine and triggers the release of endorphins and really helps to shift. So that could be like I use one of my favorites is black spruce. I love cypress. Um, what else? Pine. I love tree oils. Trees are the bee's knees, literally. But different oils. If you have a diffuser, I have an electrostatic diffuser. I do have a water diffuser, but I don't like it because it wastes the etheric essence of the oil. But anyway, again, I digress, kind of getting off track. But the oils, and again, I'll put a link in there for that because that really helps to shift, at least for myself, my focus. It brings peace and calm and just relaxation if you've never tried. And if you know me, when I work with products, I only go with the creme de la creme. Like years ago, I did with the big MLM company, which we all know the name of. And then the brothers stole it and started the other company, which that's a whole other, I'm not going to go there. But yeah, Oshadi is a company I work with, and they have the bee's knees. Very clean, organic, just all right. So I'll stop there on that one. Let's go here. The systemic reset. So, step one, 2 quick inhales, right? So we can do that now if you want, right?
I'm down. Let's show them how it's done. I'm ready when you are.
Let's do it. Go, Miles.
All right, everyone, let's lock in. Take a deep breath in and another quick one on top to really open those lungs. Now just let it all go. Feel that shift. We're clearing the noise and getting present. Your turn, Josh. Lead
Here
the
we
way.
go.
All right, everyone, let's get this energy right. Breath in. And one more quick sip of air on top. Just let it all go. Feel that pressure drop. We're moving out of the noise and right back into the present. You feeling that, everyone?
Oh yeah.
That right there is the cheat code. Once you drop that physical tension, the brain actually starts listening again. You can feel the static just clearing out of the room.
Yeah. So you
It's
downregulate
like
the
hitting
nervous system first. The brain will then follow, right? Pretty simple. Not always easy.
exactly.
So we've done that. So here it is, the frictionless intervention. One thing, one window, one completion, right? That's it. The triple one for the one. One thing. Identify the single task that makes all the other tasks easier or unnecessary. Stop trying to force a productive day. Choose one high impact action. Boy, and I'm going to end with this, which is great. If you haven't seen this book or gotten this book, I will put a link for it. Gary Keller, The One Thing. And I didn't, when I made this quick slideshare, I wasn't even thinking about this book, but the way this all came out, this is a keeper. Screenshot that, right? But I'll put the link in. It is an excellent book. And why? Because it addresses people that think that they are multitaskers, right? They're doing, and, guilty. Because I think I can do multiple things, but what ends up happening is I lose focus, I lose traction, I drop my energy, and nothing gets done. And then I get frustrated, and I just kind of like, so can you relate to this? Yes. So if you have any questions, we're going to do a little Q&A if anybody wants to get into that. It's a short little presentation, not long, but that's it. I want to keep things simple. And it's the one thing, in fact, after I'm done with this, I'm completing the one thing I started, or I, set out to start today. And that's it, just keeping myself accountable as well, because, I got to walk my talk when I'm working with clients and others, just sharing here with you. So this is my sort of vulnerability, because it's been a big one for me. It's been huge. But it doesn't mean that it's permanent. It just means that I'm aware of it. And now that I'm aware, I can take care. And I figured I wanted to share this because I'm sure I'm not the only one out there that's feeling this, or that goes through this experience, especially as a solopreneur, an entrepreneur, creator. Even if you're not on social media, if you're just general in life, you're just trying to find your way. And clients that I work with now, I'm good at tuning in as a multicolor medium. I can synthesize. I literally, on an energetic level. And sometimes I think a lot of people think, because I used to have these thoughts. I'm like, if these people are so psychic and they're mediums, why the fuck can't they take care of their own lives, right? And it makes sense to a greater or lesser degree. Yes and no. It's like, I'm not saying it's a blessing and a curse. It's not about that. It's just like, you get these abilities, but then it's like, okay, I have to walk my talk, or I get to choose. I get to walk my talk. I don't have to. I get to. And so that's what this has been for me. It's been like, and it directly correlates to the accessibility of my own skills and talents and abilities. If I don't work on myself, it's almost like it's like going to the gym. It's like, if you don't work out or do the thing, then the results diminish. You don't have the strong muscles, or the right tension, or the right focus, or the neurodendrites. You know what I mean? It's like those things change. So what you focus on, what you put your focus on, is what you manifest, or what you draw to you. What you resist persists, in a sense. And I can see where that kind of gets confusing. What you resist persists. So yeah, it's like, if you don't take care of something, then that's the thing. It's the perfectionism. it keeps bugging you, right? And nagging you like, God damn it. So there we go, right? That's what it's about. So,
That was a master.
yeah, there's your
That was a
master
master
class
class.
in less than 25 minutes.
And that's how it's done. Seriously, seeing the process and the struggle
Yeah.
makes the solution actually stick.
Anybody have any questions,
gave-
comments? Want to drop them in? If you're lurking, watching, checking it out, let me know. This help you, not help you? Was it inspirational? Was it a distraction? Let me know. But
For real, the energy in here that was a ride. Seriously, the way you just broke down that loop of preparing to prepare is something a lot of people need to hear.
yeah,
You kept it raw and real, which is exactly why it hits. How's it feeling now that you've actually put it out there?
I think it's great. We're still live. We're chatting. I'm chilling. See if anybody shows up. And let's see. Let me know if this. I'm trying to type and talk at the same time. See, I'm multitasking.
Look at you, caught in the act. You spent 20 minutes telling the world how to stop multitasking, and here you are fighting with the keyboard and the mic at the same time.
Yeah.
Struggle is real, man.
Struggle
you really
is
just
real.
lived the lesson in real.
Struggle is, that's your line, man. The struggle is real. Struggle is real, man.
Hey, look on the bright side. At least you're multitasking for the plot now. Seriously, though, you just gave the people a live demo of the friction you were talking about.
Yes, I did.
That's the most authentic way to end a session.
It is.
You feeling that?
Should we end it or should we keep going and see if anybody shows up? So I don't know. If anybody's got a question,
down for whatever.
Yeah, because I want to get back to my one thing, what I was doing. So like I said, if you haven't seen this book, grab it. It's a really great book, especially if you're someone that procrastinates or multitasks and you just, you're not at your best, but you want to be, and you want to make that shift because it's a pretty powerful book. I've gone through that book multiple times and I'm about to go through it again. So I can really just kind of like get it,
I'm with you. You've already put the energy out there and the lesson is delivered. If the room is quiet, it might be the perfect time to actually protect that one thing.
There we go.
Wrap this up while you're still in. Exactly.
That's what I think.
Ride that wave
do.
of momentum.
So, hey, you guys, thanks for joining. Thanks for, if you haven't already, subscribe, tap the notification bell, right down there or down there, below, wherever it is. Tap that bell, and you'll get notified when I come live and go live, or other cool things are going to be coming up, forthcoming. And I appreciate you being here and liking the video. And if you have any other questions afterwards, feel free to drop your questions or comments. Lots of love. And I will catch you guys next week. Actually, I'm going to try and do this twice a week. I'm going to my intention is Wednesday and Sunday. We'll do two different things. Sunday is the Clarity Cafe, and then I may do something all on wellness, having to do with wellness on Wellness Wednesday, we may call it. So let me know if you think that's a great idea. If you have any comments on that, you know what to do. Until then, peace.
Hold up real quick. We're actually hitting the session limit, and the call is going to